Prince Harry is about to get his day in court as his phone hacking trial against the publisher of the Daily Mirror begins.
Yes, the Duke of Sussex's case will be outlined today, and then tomorrow he himself faces cross-examination. This will make him the first British royal to appear in the witness box in 130 years. So, will it be the start of a successful run of battles with the British tabloids for Prince Harry?
Joining us now to discuss are royal biographers Angela Levin and Tom Bauer. Angela, this is quite a decision, isn't it, for Prince Harry? We've been talking about phone hacking now for a decade or more. There have been very prominent people who've fought the fight in public, from the royal world, Paul Burrell or Noel Fielding, Steve Coogan. But, of course, there's been hundreds and hundreds of people who knew they were caught up in this, who knew their phone was hacked, but decided not to lead the public charge. And Prince Harry has decided to absolutely put himself in the frame and lead this fight, and he's going to be in court today. Is this a wise decision for him, or should he have left it to others?
I think it's completely unwise. I think when he says that this is going to be his life's work, it's even worse, because I think it's tragic. I think he's also arrogant, so it's a terrible mixture together. He won't be able to answer all the questions and the attacks he's going to get from these top lawyers. He's had nice, soft interviews with people who don't want to upset him in case he walks out or tells them to go. So he hasn't got the experience. It's also extremely negative. His whole life now seems to be negative, going right back into the past. His mother's death is going to blame them for that, not taking into account that she didn't have a safety belt on or that the driver was drunk. It's just one way of thinking. Also about Chelsea Davy, his girlfriend before her. He said they ruined that relationship. I mean, that's 13 years ago.
But if they broke the law and hacked his phone, he's not wrong to be angry or upset about that. The question is, should he be public about it?
No, that he shouldn't be public about it. He can get as angry as he likes, but it's not going to help him, particularly if he has mental health issues. He needs to be kind to himself. He needs to be positive. He needs to look to the future. He's got a wife he still absolutely adores. He's got 2 children, a beautiful home with 16 bathrooms and a swimming pool and a tennis court and all that. It won't ever wipe it out, but it'll enable him to feel positive and have confidence in himself, instead of which he's just a moaning, groaning individual.
Tom, I'm not sure that having 16 bathrooms lessens his grievance if he feels that he has been hard done by. I mean, we know that Prince Harry does not like, put it mildly, the way that he is treated by the British press.
Well, he's the victim of his own misfortune. He's the one who caused the problem in the first place. But what I find
why did he cause the problem?
Well, because he was loved when he was married. He was loved by the public. He had huge approval ratings, and he trashed the brand by lying.
This goes back way before his marriage to Meghan. I mean, it's actually got nothing to do with Meghan.
Exactly. Well,
has it?
It has. She's geared him up to it. But let's move to a much more important...
Sorry, what's your evidence that she's geared him up to it?
Let's go back to the basics on this. Where has the evidence come out in the last 5 weeks in court that Harry was hacked? Because I haven't read it. I know the Mirror has been a lot of hacking, but they deny that they ever hacked Harry. And he hasn't produced the evidence. And I think that is what's critical over the next 3 days.
Well, that's the purpose of the court case, of course.
And what Harry is doing is he is actually putting himself up to be, if he's unlucky, destroyed, because the Mirror will be absolutely entitled to test his credibility. And he has never gone through that process before.
And that's what the court process will do. What do you think the family think of this, the royal family? What do you think, because you've been a biographer of his father, of course, what do you think King Charles makes of this? Is this something where they think, OK, Harry's got reasons to be upset, perhaps, or to pursue this, perhaps? Or do they feel more than that? Do they think this is unwise and he shouldn't do it?
Well, I'm sure they think it's absolutely unwise and mad, because he can't win from it. He's got 6 cases running, and he's on a mission to change the media. And the old saying, don't complain, don't explain, stands in this case, absolutely, because he hasn't got the evidence. And undoubtedly, they were briefing about him, the palace during his days with William as a young man and when he got into his drugs trouble and all the rest of it. But that's all in the past. That's happened. And it has nothing to do with hacking. That's what's so interesting.
I'm not sure.
Tom, when you say you can't win, I mean, in the outset of these proceedings, Mirror Group newspapers, in their opening, in the court papers they submitted, they did say that Harry and 2 or 3 other claimants in the case were due compensation because of unlawfully gathered information.
But
I mean, you could say he's won already.
Well, what happened was they sent one man to China White, a club, to see what he'd done in one of his mad jinxes there. But that isn't what he's claiming now. He is claiming through his lawyers mass hacking. And worse than that, he's also claiming that his landlines were tapped. He's claiming that his homes were broken into. All sorts of things of which have not been proven in court yet. And that's the problem for him. I think he's become the tool of this hacked-off group led by Hugh Grant and others and the lawyer Sherborne, and he has walked into a lion's den without realising the great dangers he's put himself into.
Angela, you said you think that he's moaning and whining and whinging and being negative. I'm not sure. Just set this aside for a moment, this particular case. I'm not sure why people are still so negative about Prince Harry. I mean, he has had a tough upbringing. He lost his mum. He believes, as many people do, that if she hadn't been pursued by paparazzi that night, that accident would not have happened. Well, he's got real reasons to be aggrieved because of the treatment of his wife. You may agree with some of the claims that they make. You may disagree with what she said. But the fact remains, people are endlessly negative about Harry and Meghan in the press.
He was very, very popular. I spent 15 months with him when I wrote his biography. He was fantastic. He was charismatic.
But if you see the response to this discussion this morning, you know that he is still very popular.
Well, I don't think that that's relevant, actually. I think what we ought to look at...
He used to be popular, he isn't anymore, but he is still very popular with many people.
No, he isn't. His popularity in this country and in America has gone through the floor. And that is because because he's attacking his family. He's taking out all his vengeance on his family, being incredibly rude. He's also broken into their privacy. I mean, he talked about William being circumcised, which has got nothing to do with his own health or with his own life. That's in his book, Spare. I mean, I think that's shocking.
So better to be in court attacking the Mirror rather than attacking his father and his brother?
Well, no, he's just resentful about everybody around him, about his earlier life.
Title of a good book, Revenge.
Well, yes. Look, the most recent report about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, other than what's happening this week, Tom, is that they are reportedly going to stop talking about what's happened in the past. They're not going to criticise the royal family anymore. There are no more tell-all Netflix documentaries, no more memoirs. I think we understood that Meghan might bring out her own, but it won't criticise the royal family. And they're not going to take part in interviews that reveal the inner workings of the royal family. Will that satisfy you?
Not at all.
Why not?
Because I don't believe it for a moment.
Neither do I.
I mean, it's nonsense. They've got nothing else in their lives other than the brand is about knocking the royal family and promoting themselves. They've done a terrible mistake. The brand could have been like the Kardashians or like the Beckhams. It could have been amazingly successful. Instead, it's a brand which is tainted by dishonesty and discredit.
Don't you both think there's an irony in that you criticise Harry and Meghan for being negative, criticising the royal family and making their careers out of it, but you both sit here and you make your names and your careers out of knocking Harry and Meghan?
I made my name writing Marthead balls years ago. I think that's true at all.
That's not it. I mean,
he is the one who started it.
Yeah.
He is the one by going on to Oprah Winfrey and saying all those things which with Meghan which were not true and started the ball rolling. He could have gone off to America and produced an amazing brand of goodness and health.
But you can't deny it's lucrative for you both.
Well,
Well, it's
your
nothing to
fees
do with
don't cover it.
lucrative. No, it's nothing to do with lucrative. It's just talking about them because you do know them. I
It's
spent
the
a lot
royal
of time
family.
with him all
But
day.
Angela, we believe in the royal family,
I'm very
and they've
much
done
for the royal
huge
family.
damage to the royal family, and him
You
arriving
can't-
today
let me just
is
say this,
damaging the
Tom.
country too.
Is there anything that he
You
could
can't
do
expect
to
people
turn
be
things for you?
You can't expect people to be interested in someone who is a producer or a director in the same way they've been interested in them. They're going to be behind the cameras, they say, and produce things from there. People won't be interested. It will be incredibly boring because Netflix threw out something that Meghan wanted to do. She will be in charge. Netflix are no longer going to do anything with them. And they won't be out of the public's eye. I mean, we get photographers who see when Meghan has a different
Have you got
hairstyle.
any advice to give them other than to keep quiet and stay away?
I think they
I
should start doing good. Play the long game.
Yeah.
He should now stop the court cases because he can't win in the end, and he should just go back to what he intended to do, which was to preach goodness.
And to have a happy life with his family. Look forward, not backwards.
Angela, Tom, thank you very much indeed.